there is a clear connection, as clear as the sun, between spirituality and nature, raw, unmanipulated nature. So much so that all the great ones, the self-realized beings, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, all the prophets, they have spent a great deal of their early life, especially their early life before they came back with a message, out in nature, out in the wilderness. You know, Buddha left his family, left his castle. He was supposedly a prince, and he spent his time in the jungle. You know, he spent his time meditating under a tree. And Muhammad used to go to the caves and spend unknown number of days just meditating there. Jesus went to the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. So clearly, all the self-realized beings that come with this divine wisdom, that come with this truth of oneness, of non-dual consciousness, they find themselves, find their true essence, and find all these their higher self, the higher wisdom in nature. And you can just look at your own life. I can look at my own life, you know, the way I got in touch with this higher way of being, this higher self, my higher self, the greater self, is through eating a naturally growing psilocybin mushroom, a naturally growing fungus in nature. And it connected me, because by virtue of it coming out of nature, containing this certain stream of information, connected me more to nature. I start to realize who I am, my true essence, what I'm doing here, and the oneness, the love, the light, the truth, right? All of these things associated with divine wisdom, with your higher self. I found those things in nature. And where am I right now making this video? I am in nature. You know, in summertime, unfortunately, I live in Canada. So it's like cold as fuck 8 months of the year. But for those 4 months, I pretty much spend my time here. You know, and I really immerse myself in it. And I feel in summer, first of all, in summer, I feel like 10 times more love, 10 times more beauty, 10 times more oneness. You know, I feel more connected to my spirit, to my higher self in summers, simply because I'm here. And I realize that sooner or later I have to move out of Canada if I want to experience this regularly. Because, you know, I'm not speaking out against Canada here. I love this country, right? I'm Canadian, but I never got into the winter sports. You know, I just never got into that scene. I like this. I like this barefoot. I like being here, right? So anyway, that's a tangent for another thing. But nature. I mean, even in winter, if you go into nature and you really dress up well and you really go to some, you know, you pull a Wim Hof, you still will experience this higher, enhanced spirituality, right? I know I'm talking shit about winters here, but you know, you can pull a Wim Hof. I think I'm probably gonna pull a Wim Hof next winter. Might as well make the most of it, you know. And you can really feel next level spirituality spending time in winter, in nature, in bitter winter. But the bottom line, the point I'm trying to make is, clearly, whenever you come to raw, unmanipulated nature, it doesn't matter which season, you know. Let's just say it doesn't matter which season, because it really doesn't. You will feel more connected with your higher self. You'll feel more spiritual. You'll feel more magical. And here's my theory on that. My theory on that is, when we are in raw, unmanipulated nature, we experience and we feel a glimpse, a teaser of how it feels, how it felt back home, back in our spiritual home, back in higher realms of existence, back into more pure realms of existence, more loving realms of existence, more realms where this duality that is played out on planet Earth, in this physical universe of good and evil, light and darkness, doesn't really exist, because all there exists is love, all there exists is light, all there exists is purity, all there exists is oneness. And I feel like when we come to nature on this planet, in this dual reality, this good and evil reality, this darkness and evil, darkness and light, good and evil, we experience a teaser, a glimpse of how it feels back home, of what it's like back home, wherever that back home happens to be. That's my theory on it. So again, I'm just throwing out stoner talk here, just theories, you know, how I feel about it. Perhaps when the creator of this whole thing, the one, the all, the imaginer, the imaginer, the one who imagined all of this. We are in the mind of God, and this is all a dream, right? We are all, in the words of Bill Hicks, we are all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There is no such thing as death. Life is only a dream, and we are the imaginations of ourselves. So, when this thing was first imagined, this planet Earth that we're in, this physical universe, the creation of it, the imagination of it, the creation, let's say the simulation of it, was simulated with loving intent, with the intent of the creator of it, the true essence of the creator of it. And that, so as long as we stayed within the creation without manipulating it, we would feel that essence, that oneness of our true essence, of the real self, right? We would feel it. And so as long as we stray away from it, we would basically be venturing out more and more away from home. This is why when you're in a city, you feel more negative, you feel more anxious. You know, in one of the parts of this woods that I'm in, there is an absolutely magnificent view, and I tried to take a picture of it or put it in the videos, but you can't see it properly in the video. But I can see the entire city of Hamilton in front of me. It's on a height. It's not far from here. It's like 20-minute walk. I go there, you know, every other day or so. I shoot my videos there, but you can't see it with the camera. There is a part where I can see all of the city of Hamilton. And I sit there and contemplate, because I know the city, I can see the downtown, I've been there many, many, many times. And I say to myself, I am sitting here in pure raw nature. And that place barely has any people come into it. And I feel like I'm in heaven. I feel like I am in goodness, in oneness, in love. And then I picture myself as someone in that downtown, because I've been there many times. And all I can feel is anxiety. All I can feel is separation. All I can feel is weirdness. And I feel like, you know, that we manipulated all of this into this creation of the city. And we kind of strayed away from home. So, of course, it's a lot more difficult to be in a city and feel the oneness and feel the unity and feel the love. It's possible. It's possible because this is your home. Your heart is your home wherever you go. If you take your heart with you and you operate from your heart, you're always going to be at home. But I'm saying it's a lot more difficult, like 100 times more difficult, to find God, to find yourself, your real true self, the oneness, the unity, the love in a city. You know, and whenever you know, usually if you can find that part of you, that love, that oneness in a city, chances are you spent enough time in nature purifying your heart, getting closer to who you really are, that now you can actually go to a city and still feel the oneness, the connectivity, the light in all beings, right? But it's difficult if you're just right off the bat, you've raised in a city like most of us are, raised in civilization, in this man-made, everything is man-made. very, 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 very difficult to come to who you really are, to connect with your higher self, to feel this place of home, the heart, the love, without going into nature, without spending a good amount of time in nature. This is why all the great ones, all the self-realized beings, just had the urge to go out into nature, spend some time in the wilderness, because God is here. God is here. God didn't forget about God itself, because really we are all this one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. So to speak, God didn't forget about its children. God left them many cues, many clues, many... this is like a puzzle we're trying to solve. We're trying to remember who we are. And God left itself, its children, the clues everywhere in the game. It left it within the very creation itself. Within, I mean, before we manipulate and create cities and man-made things, we are in nature. So right there and then, by virtue of just being here, automatically you're more connected. You know, God put it within the fabric of nature, of the creation itself, before it gets all manipulated. So no, God didn't forget about itself. God doesn't want to have permanent amnesia about who God is. No, God will put clues to itself. This is a game we're playing. So God puts these clues in nature, and if you come spend enough time here, in the silence of nature, in the silence of your being, you'll remember who you are. You'll feel at home again. You'll feel at home. You'll feel who you are, who you really are. And it's a feeling, it's an experience. All of us try to put it in words, but it's an experience, right? That's my theory on nature. And that's why I love nature, and that's why as I continue in my life, I'm trying to get closer and closer to nature, right? In the future, I'd like to have my own place where I can grow my own food, maybe have some chicken that can lay some eggs, you know, I'd like to have that in the future at some point, and I really feel the urge. I feel like I'm not yet at the place in my life ready for that, but I feel like as I get closer and closer to nature, to my true essence, to my home, I just see this increasing desire for me to just be more and more in nature as much as I can, because you know, we are in civilization, we are in a city. In many ways, we woke up from the matrix, from the sleep, the amnesia, and it's almost that many of us are here to help the other people who are sleeping wake up. And so that makes our existence in cities, in these places, somewhat necessary for our own evolution as a soul, and for the evolution of other souls as well. So I don't think I'll ever completely strain away from a city, because I'll still want to do my work and host events and be in a city, right? Because that's where people are now. That's where other humans, other souls, other, streams of consciousness are. But I mean, this is all consciousness, trees and planets and everything else. But I personally, as I keep, I guess, progressing into life, I'd like to have even a stronger connection with nature. So, because I feel like I'm at home. I feel like I am at home. And this is truly how it feels. On my last LSD trip with my friend, we both just synchronistically said, this feels like home. We both said it at the same time. This feels like home, because it is home. It is home. So that's it, guys. God bless you all. I love every single one of you. Go spend more time in nature. You'll know what I'm talking about. If my words seem alien to you, if they seem like complete horseshit, like complete gibberish, because I'm trying to explain an experience here, but it's an experience. And for you guys who have experienced it, you know what I'm talking about. And that's it, guys. As always, don't forget to subscribe, or you're gonna sleep with the fishes.